Let's say you are using a web page on your computer and you click a button, or you tap the like icon on a friend's picture on your phone. In JavaScript, the button click and the like icon tap are examples of user-triggered events. Events are happening all the time. You can use JavaScript code to listen for these events. You can even choose the parts of the page on which you are listening for events. Let me describe an example. You might want to listen for a click event on an Add to Cart button. Once you capture such an event, you might want to run some JavaScript code. For example, I can add a circle with the number 1 on it next to the shopping cart icon to indicate that there is now one item in the shopping cart. If the same event gets triggered or fired again, our event handling code then handles the event by updating the count in the circle next to the shopping cart icon. The circle then displays the number 2 to indicate that there are 2 items in the cart. In JavaScript, the function that handles captured events is known as the event handler. Let me demonstrate how to listen for an event by using the addEventListener method. Okay, so I'm back in the console here, and let me demonstrate 2 ways to set up an event listener for HTML elements on a web page. One of the easiest ways to listen for an event is to use the addEventListener method. You can do that on a given HTML element. For example, suppose I want to listen to the click event on the body of this example website. First, I need to get a reference to the body element where we want to listen to this event. In the console of the browser developer tools, I type document.querySelector and then the name of the element inside of the parenthesis. For this example, it's body, and I enclose it with single quotes. Next, I want to assign the body object to a variable, so I type const target equals to assign the body object to the target variable. I've named this variable target because it's the target of our click event. Now I can create a function that will be run when this target is clicked. So I type function handle click, and then in the function body I console log the string clicked the body. The next step is to run the addEventListener method on the target element. So I type target.addEventListener. Then, inside the parenthesis, I pass it 2 arguments. The first is the event type click as a string value, and the second is my handle click function. Okay, so my code is now ready. Let me test it by clicking the web page. Success! Notice that the text is output to the console. In addition to the addEventListener method, an alternative way to listen for events is by using HTML event attributes. Before doing that, let me first write a second click handler function named handleClick2. Once again, I console log a string inside the function body. This time, it will output the phrase clicked the heading. Next, I need to open the Elements panel of the developer tools and expand the view for the div element. Then the heading element should be visible. I right-click the H1 element and click Edit as HTML. Then after the H1, I create the attribute by typing onClick equals, followed by my function name, handleClick2, with a pair of parentheses at the end. Finally, I click outside the element to save the change and return to the console tab. Notice that when I now click on the heading in the web page, the phrase clicked the heading and clicked the body is output to the console. Basically, this single click has triggered 2 different event listeners, but notice that if I click outside of the heading, it only triggers the event listener that listens for clicks on the entire body element. In this video, you learned how to write an event listener using the addEventListener method, as well as by writing a function directly as a HTML event attribute. Great work!